All right, hello everybody. I think we're live. Takes a second for everything to come through. I hate to leave dead air. All right. All right, cool. We're live. Let me pull it up and mute it so I can read comments. Hello, everyone. All right, we're going to get started here in a couple of seconds. If you're watching this and you're a Posse member, feel free to join the Zoom link that was in the Posse group so that you can ask questions. Hi, Peggy, I see you in there. If there are any questions that you have about online stuff and websites and Facebook and whatever it may be, this is a live call-in show, except people aren't actually calling, they're showing up on our in Zoom. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be excited. Victoria, the link is still there. Go to the Posse group. The link is in Posse, so you can jump in through that. I just posted the link fresh in Posse. So for those of you who are watching that are not Posse members, maybe wondering what on earth is going on here. Something that we are starting to do is a live show like this once a week on Wednesdays here on my page, on my Allie Thompson Creative Success Secrets page, as well as in my group, How to Sell Your Products Online, the free course. That free course is coming soon. It is in the works. You see a big coming soon banner on the top. We're going to start adding training to that group next week. I'm really excited about it. I think that it's going to help a lot of people have clarity about the strategies that they need to use online. So we're going to go live once a week on Wednesdays at noon Eastern. We're going to start off with a successful Posse member who is doing something different and having a lot of success. And I want to have them pop on first to kind of talk about what they're doing so that they can share it not only with other Posse members, but for everybody watching here, that these are the things that I'm doing and this is what's working in my business right now. So we have Aleta on tonight, or today, not tonight. We have Aleta on today to talk about that, and we'll get to her in a second. When Aleta is done, I'm opening it up for live Q&A. And at this time, for now, only Posse members are invited to the Q&A portion. And in the Q&A portion, we are actually going to be able to have a discussion on video. So one of the things I dislike about Facebook Lives, especially with Q&As, is I'm waiting for comments to pop up here. And I'm waiting for the comments to pop up on the live. And then I have a follow-up question, but then it takes a while for that to get answered. And it just takes a long time to do Q&A through Facebook Live. So I decided, why not, let's just do it live, do it in person, and have an actual conversation about the questions that people have. I think there's a lot you guys are going to learn from this. I think there's a lot of ahas that you're going to walk away from this call. And I'm really excited to be able to do it. All right. Hello. Let's see. Hello, everybody. All right. So we are going to start off with Aleta, and I usually use Zoom for meetings instead of webinars, and that's what I have to use for this. Anyhow, that's besides the point. It may take me a second to get Aleta up because I always forget exactly what it is I need to do to get her here. I know I need to promote to panelist. And then I need to see her in panelist. Yes. Okay. Promoted to panelist. I think you can unmute. Can you unmute yourself now, Aleta?
I'm here.
There you are.
I gotta undo my video.
Okay, no problem. All right, so we're gonna give Aleta a second to.
You need to do the video.
What's that? Oh, I think, yeah, there's a thing I need to do. Hold on. That's the thing that always gets me. Let's see, allow panelists to start video. All right, you should be able to do it now. I'll have to see if I can change that in the standard. There you are, hi. So your connection is a little wonky, but we're going to try to get through this because you're freezing up and jumping around a little bit. But I want to welcome Aleta to this conversation. So Aleta, tell everybody about your business.
So I don't know what's going on with the internet connection, but anyways, I'm Aleta and I'm the other half of my husband's business, Paul's Hand Turn Creations. I do all the resin work. All of our products are handmade, and then my husband turns everything on his lathe. So we're kind of like a mom and pop shop. And in the last almost year, we have just really done phenomenal with our business. I do all the marketing, all the posting, anything, all the website. My husband just turns.
He just makes the stuff. He gets to go out and do his little man cave.
He makes it all look nice and pretty, all, you know, and everything. So anyway,
makes your job easier, huh?
Exactly. So we're having a great time and having fun doing it, and it doesn't even consider it a job, you know. It's been great.
Very good. So you joined Posse, wasn't it last September or over the summer?
It was, I think, the tail end of June.
Okay, so you were in summer. Yeah, so how were your sales before Posse?
Well, we did a lot of shows, and we did, I thought, okay. But then when I joined Posse, I definitely learned a lot more ways of, you know, getting our sales up even higher. And lo and behold, I mean, even right now in May, we have tripled our business since last May.
And without shows.
Without shows. We haven't had a show. We had one show right before this coronavirus thing came out. And that was just a local market. And of course, all of our big shows have been canceled until at least fall, and who knows after that. So we're not really relying on any of those shows at all for this year. So I've had to kind of think outside the box on, you know, what are we going to do to, you know, keep these sales going, getting sales? And it seems to be working. I mean, people are buying. When people say that they are not buying because of this virus, that's not true. I mean, we have just done phenomenal because of what's been going on.
And there are a lot of people that will say, well, you know, I just got to shut my business down. If I can't do shows, then there's just nothing I can do. What would you say to those people?
I think that's just crazy. I mean, if the way I look at it, if you can't handle this, how are you going to handle something else into your business? And you just always have to be thinking, what can I do to make myself stand out from anyone else? And I know people that have given up on their business because of this virus, and it's only been, what, a month or two, you know? So I'm not going to go down without a fight. And so
not only are you not going down, you're going above and beyond what you were.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And people, you know, I've had other vendors in our community ask me, private message me, what are you doing to get all these sales, you know? And it's, you know, it's not just one thing, it's several things combined that I'm doing. So in what may work for me may not work for someone else, but it's worth me trying all these different avenues that I've been doing, just to see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah. So tell us some of the things that you've been doing. So obviously you're in Posse. You've been doing you've been doing the calendar in Posse. You've been doing a lot of things that we teach in Posse, but what are the things that are like working the best for you right now?
Well, right now, the lives. I mean, I'm going live with my husband because this is his business. We could try to do a live every 2 weeks. We were hoping for every week, but quite frankly, we don't have enough stock to do lives each week. So at least 2 times a month, we're doing a live. I'm posting in other groups about our products. That's been doing pretty well. And then of course, engaging with every post that I make. I want, you know, people to know that we're actually real and we're not a huge company. We're a small business. It's just the 2 of us. And then I decided that I would do giveaways once a month, which has been really successful for us. And also I came up with, I was in a call and we were just brainstorming, and someone said something about an auction, how they'd like to try it. And that kind of triggered thinking like, how could I do that with our business? So I kind of tried it, and it's been going on for about this will be our 5th week of once a week, just doing a live auction where I put up one product and let people go for it. They can name their price. And so far, we haven't lost any money on anything. And a couple of our products have actually gone for more than what we were normally selling them for.
Very good. Very good. And that works really great for your business too, because everything looks different. Everything is kind of one of a kind. They can't go on the website and buy that exact. I mean, they can get those colors, but it's not that exact one. So it does create a little bit more of that tension where people are like, no, I want that one. So I think the auctions is such a great idea. And I remember when you brought it up in a Next Level Academy call, and you're like, I'm thinking about doing these auctions. I said, I think that's a really good idea. And it's worked. And it's a great way, not just to sell product, you guys. And I want everybody to hear this. This is not just about selling product. It's engaging people. It's getting them to desire it, to want it, to get a little bit competitive. It's something different. It's fun. It's not just your everyday, here's something I have for sale, come over and buy it.
Right. And because what I do to start engagement, usually either on a Wednesday or a Thursday, I'll have a couple products that I'm thinking of putting up and have our followers chime in. You know, what are they looking for? And the one that gets the most votes, that's the one that goes up on the auction block on Sunday. But in the meantime, I'm posting about it, you know, several times, and to get people engaged. And also I post it in other groups as well, to get some of those people over to our page, hopefully to like our page and get engaged with that auction. And so far it's working. So
very good. Very good. And so I want you guys to understand something, that one of the biggest challenges that Paul and Aleta are having right now is that they do not have enough stock. There's literally, they could open the throttle on this baby, but they don't have enough products to put out there. And that's a really, I mean, it can be a little frustrating for Paul and Aleta, right? But it's a very powerful situation to be in. It's much rather that you be out of stock and selling well than be buried in stock and not doing much at all. And something else that you guys have done over the last 6 months is, because you're out of stock so much, you've had to make some adjustments on your pricing. How has pricing changed your business?
Well, we definitely needed work on our pricing, because we didn't have a clue as to what, you know, a realistic price for any of our products. And so definitely, because of your help, you know, we definitely have done better with that. It still needs a little bit further to go. But people are buying, and it doesn't matter. It amazes me, you know, and it's hard for me to get out of that thinking. It's not what I think I would pay, it's what the customer is willing to pay. And it's just proof, because we have so much on our website that's just out of stock. And it's hard because it's all one of a kind, you know, so it can never be replicated. But right now I've got 3 orders, you know, to fulfill. And I told the people, you know, that we can't get to it for a couple of weeks. And they're okay with that. They're willing to wait because it's that one of a kind. No one else is ever going to have it. And so we definitely have to work a little bit more on our pricing. But my husband, Paul, is getting a weekly paycheck now. I mean, I've set aside down how much each of those products is worth his time. And granted, I do the marketing and whatnot, so I add a little bit more into that. But it's kind of funny to give your husband a paycheck, you know?
I love it.
And he doesn't know it, but all that money that he's getting for his paychecks is going into a different account, and that's going to be our nice vacation.
That's a great way to do it. That's a great way to do it. And you guys have done so great. And I know that the pricing thing was, there's a little bit of resistance, especially with Paul at the beginning. But look, guys, when you have a high demand for your product, and Paul and Aleta specifically with the marketing, has created that demand, right? So she created high demand, and now she has a lot more flexibility with her pricing than what she had before. But creating that demand in the first place is what's really important. So Aleta, did you have anything, any last words, anything else you wanted to share with people?
I just think that, you know, especially in a crisis that we're in right now, you just have to really think about other possibilities and don't give up. I mean, because really that does you no good. And so my wheels are always turning on what else can I do? Even this morning, I was thinking, you know, what else can I do to get more followers and to, you know, ultimately they will, you know, hopefully they'll buy, you know, but so right now we're having a giveaway, and, you know, that's doing pretty good so far, and it just started this morning. So I'm just always looking for new ways, and I say, just don't give up, you know, keep going.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the idea that you just shared there of constantly looking for something, always looking for what else could I do, versus a lot of people get stuck in the mindset, this is out of my hands, this is out of my control, you know, there's nothing I can do. You know, Aleta asked, well, what can I do? What could I do? Could I do that? And watching other people and learning from other people. That's another reason why Posse is so important, is because a lot of you have heard about this auction that Aleta's doing because you're in Posse, and that can spark things in your head and say, wait a minute, what could I do something like that? And even just sharing this right now with everybody, I hope that you start thinking that, everybody out there, start thinking, what can I do? Not I can't, but what can I do? So Aleta, thank you very much for being on here. I'm going to be sharing your Facebook page. So somebody just asked, what is Aleta's Facebook page? So we're going to get you some followers here in a second. I also shared, guys, the link in the comments for the 30-day trial to Posse for only $7. That's where Aleta got started. That's where she started, you know, really learning how to engage on Facebook, how to be consistent. You still use the calendar every day, right? You're
Right.
following the Prompts for Profits calendar. And that's what got the ball rolling for Aleta. And now she's at this level where she's like, what else? What else? What else? Right? She's in the next level. Aleta's a next level academy graduate. So she's looking to go bigger and further and higher, but she started in Posse. Let me get the link, because I went ahead and I grabbed the link and then I posted something else. So there we go. All right. So Aleta, your link is in the comments. Everybody go follow their page, Paul's Hand Turn Creations. Thank you very much for coming on with me. And I really appreciate it. Congratulations. You're doing a fantastic job.
Thanks, Allie.
All right. So we're gonna, let's see. I have to now figure out how to change role to attendee. There we go. All right. So those of you that are on the call right now, the attendees on the call, if you're in Posse and you want to ask a question, this is your chance. We have Chelsea, Kelly, Laura, and Lori. If you guys could put your questions in the comments area here in Zoom so that I can kind of get a feel for what you guys are wanting to know, and I can maybe kind of prioritize a little bit. Sheila says, Aleta, what are you posting in the groups about your lives? So Aleta, if you get a chance to go on there, I would love for you to answer Sheila's question. Peggy, I just shared Aleta's Facebook page. Let's see. Okay, so Peggy, I see your question in the comments of the live video, but you're not on, you were on the call. I was gonna say we could definitely answer that. But yeah, Peggy, if you want to come on. Chelsea, Kelly, Laura, Lori, any of you have questions? Just comment. Oops, I've got to look at, just make a comment in the thread. so I know who to call on who has a question. Otherwise, I'm just going to call on one of you and you're going to go live. That's how it's going to go. This is our first time doing it, so everybody's getting used to the new setup. I got to get used to it as well. So, anybody in the comments have questions? How far does one need to be ready for NLA? Asked Pat. So that's a great question. For those of you that don't know, Next Level Academy is our next level. Okay, Lori, I see your question. We'll get you next. So Next Level Academy is where we really concentrate on your website and emails. In Posse, we concentrate much more on building an audience. You want to build your audience, create engagement with them, make sales. When you join Posse, the end result of Posse is you have a lot of people following you, excited about your product, and you're making a lot of sales. So for Next Level Academy, that's really the prerequisite. You're not ready to move on to really put the focus on the website and the email marketing until you've got some traction in Posse. Pat, having known you and knowing what you're doing, I would say that you are there. I generally like to see people have at least 500 Facebook page likes, high engagement, and sales. So as long as you're getting engagement and getting sales, I think you're already in the 1,000 likes club. So, you know, you're already there. You already got over 1,000 likes on your Facebook page. NLA would be a next step for you. And especially for you, Pat, because your shows are drying up because of the lockdown. Right now, you guys, there is about to be an enormous tidal wave of e-commerce sales. I was just reading an article the other day that we are 10 years ahead of schedule of what they predicted e-commerce sales were going to become. The damage that this is doing to in-person brick and mortar businesses is immediate and probably permanent. And so many people are getting much more comfortable buying online, finding people online, shopping online. This is where you need to be. You need to be selling online. All right, so Lori, I'm going to call on you first. All right, I'm going to promote to panelist. And we're going to talk about posting in other groups. So this is something that I teach in Posse. All right, and then I have to do this other thing where I allow you, yeah, no, it's there. All right, Lori. I don't want to unmute you before you're ready. Okay, you're unmuted. There you are. And then if you want to start your video, there's the link for that as well. Someday I'll have a producer on this show.
I was not ready for this one little bit.
All right, Lori, what's your question?
Well, my question was encountering negativity in some of the groups that you post to, where maybe it's from a competitor or somebody that, you know, may have just not like your products.
Okay.
And I was wondering, like, you know, how you kind of deal with that.
So have you had that experience so far?
I did recently have an experience, yes.
Okay, can you share what happened?
It was, I don't want to.
Okay. All right, so we'll talk about it in broad general, because if it's specific, I can just be more specific. Excuse me. So what I would say is when you post to groups, it should definitely be engagement type stuff. And I'm going to ask you that. Was it like an engagement game post?
It was, yes.
Okay. Because sometimes what happened is we think, oh, well, you know, I could get away with the sales post in here, and people will push back on that. If it's a high engagement post, we always have to remember, or an engagement game, we always have to remember that we're on somebody else's turf, right? It's not our page. We don't control the conversation. And so sometimes the conversation goes in directions where we would prefer that it didn't, and maybe we feel that it's unflattering for us in our business. For the most part, just thank them for their feedback. So we've had people say, you know, like scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like this? And somebody's like, 1, I don't wear jewelry. And it's like, okay, cool. It's not your style. It's not what you do. Thanks for playing along. The other people in the comments are not all of a sudden, and there's a lot of fear in that, right? Like, oh my gosh, somebody's going to think something negative about my product. The other people in the comments, if they say 10, somebody else's 1 is not affecting their 10. They really, really like it. They think it's really, really pretty. And those are the people you really want to talk to. And it can be difficult because it hurts our ego and it hurts our pride. It hurts our feelings a little bit to hear somebody say something negative. Now, if they're just stating an opinion, and you know, some people say, well, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. That may be your philosophy, but that doesn't mean that's that person's philosophy, right? Their world is made up of all different people, and we can't control everybody else, and we can't make them do what we want them to do. So what we have to do instead is either just let it roll off our back, because it's not hateful. You know, if it's hateful and it's mean, that's one thing. But if it's just, I don't like it, it's just not my style, or I just don't think that that's you know, for me, or I don't like that color combination, then just say thanks for your feedback. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. The best thing you can do is add sugar to it. The best thing you can do is shower that person with kindness, because the minute you look defensive, that's when people notice that comment. That's when people start thinking things of you, right? If you just like, hey, thanks, cool, great, and move on with your day, and feel free to acknowledge it and just move on with your day, then everybody else is going to let it roll off their back too. But if it starts a back and forth, well, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Well, you asked what I want to know, and then everybody's into drama. Now they're associating you with drama, right?
Right.
We don't want to do that. So if it's a really nasty comment, and I just did a video and I need to double check this. If you're the poster, I think you can delete that comment, but even if you can't, you can report that comment to the admin of the group and say, this is particularly nasty. Like they're attacking me as a person. I have had people in my own group. I had a guy call me the C word. Yeah. And so I'm like, no. And I just deleted his comment. I'm like, that's totally, you know, stuff happens. There are mean, vindictive people out there. And if we just remember that those people are just small and they're just crying for attention, just don't give them the attention. Don't give them the attention, and try to get it removed any way that you can. Is that helpful?
Yes, it's really helpful. Thank you.
And same applies to your own page too. If somebody gives a negative, that doesn't mean that they'll never buy anything from you. They just may not like that one thing, and they just don't have a filter. It's cool. Just breeze by them.
All right. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Lori. All right. Still got to figure out how to do this. I got to change role to attendee. All right. All right, next we have Laura. I am going to try a live auction next week, but it will be multiple items. So Laura, would you like to talk about that? I'm going to go ahead and put you in as panelist. All right. I see somebody else asking if they qualify for NLA. If you're a Posse member and you want to have a discussion with me about that, go into Posse. There's a link for NLA there. When you get to the bottom, you have an opportunity that you can schedule a one-on-one 15-minute call with me. And I'll be honest with you too. I had somebody ask earlier this week and I said, no, I don't think you're ready. I definitely don't want people in the program that are not ready to be in the program yet. So, oh, Laura's on a computer with no camera or mic. So we are just going to remove you as panelists. And I'll answer your question if let's see. So Laura says that I'm going to try a live auction next week, but it will be with multiple items. I think that's a perfectly fine strategy to do. Test it. If you're not sure about something, just test it. I have seen people do not necessarily auctions with multiple items, but like flash sales with multiple items that somebody has to say mine in the comments. They'll upload like an album of items and say flash sale, either a discounted price or something, and everybody say mine. But I will say, Laura, that if your audience is not highly engaged, it may be a lot to ask them to focus on lots of different products. It's always easier to have a very zeroed in focus on one thing at a time. And if like Aleta was going to do a multiple product auction, I would say she would probably be able to do that easier because of the amount of engagement that she has. So I don't know exactly how much engagement you have on your computer right now or on your Facebook page right now, but the more engagement that you have, the more interaction you have, the better something like that will work. In the meantime, I would really honestly just start with one product. It can work with multiples, but if you really want, here's the problem. If you start testing things before you figured out what does and doesn't work, and you go off on your own and start testing different ideas than like what we teach in Posse, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. The danger is when you try something new and you're still trying to get things going, you're still trying to get product sales happening, and then you try something new and it doesn't work and you can get deflated. So for anybody new watching this, if you're brand new, and I'm not sure which Laura this is on here, if that's Laura Ross, if it's Laura Ross, I would say try multiple products. If it's a different Laura, I don't know. I'm not sure which Laura is on. Because I know Laura Ross has a lot more engagement and has more. Yes. Hi, Laura Ross. I realized that as I was talking, I'm like, is this Laura? Like, I'm not sure. So yeah, if you have multiple products, I would say try it. I would say try it. But if you're a little bit concerned by it, just start with one. What I was saying to newer people that are like, oh, I'm going to try this and I'm going to try this. And Allie said experiment, and yes, experiment. But if the experiment doesn't go well, don't take it personally and quit experimenting. Don't take it personally and quit doing anything. And a lot of times that's what I see with new people is I always compare it to baking a cake, right? It's fairly easy to bake a cake when you have a recipe. It's hard to bake a cake when you don't have a recipe. And if a kid is baking a cake for the very first time and you're like, oh, you could figure it out, just throw the ingredients together, and they fail and they try it again and they fail and they try it again and they fail, they get really discouraged. And next thing you know, they don't want to make cakes anymore. But if you start out with a recipe and really understand how the elements work together, then you can start to get creative. All right, I've made 100 cakes using this recipe. Let me try adding chocolate chips. Let me try adding a different, extract. Let me try, whole wheat flour instead of white flour. And you have the confidence at that point to know that you can probably switch some of these products out. And if you have a failure, it doesn't like crush you. If you have 3 or 4 failures, you still have all of the success behind you. So if you're new to Posse, or anybody that even signs up for Posse today, if you're new, then realize that those failures early on can sometimes deflate you. And it's not that they're absolute. You just don't know how to make a cake yet. You don't know what does work. You haven't seen a really big response with any of your strategies yet because you just started. Once you get that confidence and things are rolling, Aleta and Pam and there are a lot of people here that have been posting for a long time, have super high engagement. They don't sit and fret about a single post, and they don't fret about trying something new because they're like, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But they have a lot of confidence behind them in order to say that. All right, so Victoria, Suzanne, either one of you have a question? Just let me know in the comments. You can just say I have a question and I'll bring you on as an attendee. I'm going to, Ruth asked, will this be available later? I have to leave. Yes, Ruth, it will. Pat said, yeah, some people are just not nice. And sometimes when we ask questions, they're just being honest. Again, you're on somebody else's turf. You ask, they're going to answer. And sometimes people do it just to kind of like puff their own chest out. I don't like it. Or sometimes people do it just to be counterculture. Everybody else liked it, so I'm going to say I don't like it. I'm going to even out the opinions here, and it's just nonsense. Let's see. All right, Victoria or Suzanne. I know Victoria, I thought you had a question. Any other questions in the comments? I'm going to do something real quick while I have this open, while I'm, oh, Victoria has a question, but the kid's melting down. That happens. That happens. How about you, Suzanne? You got your computer figured out? I know you weren't able to attend the call last night. All right. Just gotta do something real quick here. Oops. Like I said, one day I'll have a producer. All right. All right. Let me check the comments again. Sheila has a question. Sheila, do you want to jump on the call to ask a question? All right, I answered Ruth. Making sure I'm getting everybody. All right, so Suzanne doesn't have a question. Anybody questions in the comments? We can totally just go on. You guys got your internet marketing all figured out? Is everybody sitting there like, I got this figured out. It's no problem. Like questions, you want to know about Instagram, you want to know about TikTok, you want to know about websites, you want to know about email, you want to know about, what do you want to know about? It doesn't have to be a posse related question. It doesn't have to be a Facebook related question. Dawn says, I have a producer. Yeah, you got your hubby there. My hubby left. Yeah. Sheila, the link is in Posse. So if you go into Posse and look in the thread, in the Posse group. Amy says, can you find more time in the day? Yes, you can, Amy. So this is actually a great question. This is something that I get. This is something that I get a lot. Sheila, I don't see you. You're on. If somebody could tag Sheila in the post in Posse. Amy, if you could tag Sheila in the post in Posse so that she sees where to come on so we can have a conversation. Okay, so about time in the day. Honestly, time chunking is really what I do. It's so important to eliminate distractions. If you guys check out my YouTube channel, and I can actually include a link to the YouTube channel. I just did a video about an app called Text Blaze that helps you. If you have somebody ask us the same question, you have different people ask the same questions all the time, and you find yourself basically answering the same thing every time. There is a program called Text Blaze that keeps things moving pretty quickly. There's a lot of little apps and things like that I use. If you're using Google Chrome, the apps are fantastic. The apps have been a key to me being more productive. One of the things, all right, I see you on there, Sheila. I'll get to you in a second. One of the things that I use the apps for is blocking my Facebook newsfeed, which has been very, very helpful for me. Another thing I use the apps for is there's actually an app called, and I tried to do a video about it, but they wouldn't let me screen capture that app for some reason. But there's an app called, what's it called? Stay Focused. And if you know there are certain websites that create a lot of distraction for you, but you find yourself almost unconsciously going to them. For me, it's real estate sites, travel sites, and the news. I just mindlessly find myself going to these websites over and over again. You can add those sites to a program called Stay Focused, and Stay Focused will, you could say, only give me 15 minutes during working hours to look at any of these things. I have mine set at 1 minute. And usually that gives me enough time to open up the news channel I usually go to, see the headlines, and close it. After that, it will block access to that site. You cannot get access to that site until the next day. Or if it's outside of working hours. That has been huge for me. One of the sites that I blocked for a long time was YouTube, but now I use YouTube a lot as a creator. Oh, I just realized what I can do. I just realized a workaround on that. That I always have YouTube open and I find myself watching YouTube videos again. And it's very frustrating. It's like, I don't want to watch YouTube videos. I need to get stuff done. But that's a really great app. Getting rid of the distraction and having a list of these are the most important things for me to do today. The top 3 things to do today is one of the best things that you can do. Pam says, I love text plays. I thought of you, Pam, when I found that. I'm like, this would be perfect for Pam. This would be perfect for Pam. Okay. So we got Sheila on. Sheila, I'm going to go ahead and get you as a panelist. And you can just, there you go. And, oh, hold on. There you go.
Sorry.
No, you unmuted you as I was unmuting you, which means I muted you. So, hi, Sheila. How you doing?
I'm doing, we're doing construction, so I just got done painting. So I've been doing lives every single Wednesday, and what I had added into it is that I will bake an order live, and then I will show them after that order what we're having for dinner, and I'll bake our dinner live so that they can have some choices and have ideas if they're struggling. So we've been getting people that attend, and I've made it as an event, but the event isn't getting exposure. It's not getting shared. It's not getting liked. How can I get more engagement for that? Do I need to do it less, like once every 2 weeks? I mean, I have so many thoughts in my head.
So first of all, tell everybody what your business is. I should ask that at the beginning.
Well, it's changing. So the name of it right now is Manna Bread's gluten-free organic bakery. And we do gluten-free and organic baked goods, and we ship all over the U.S.
And you also produce flour, right? You do a flour mix?
Yeah, we have our own flour mix. The reason for that was because the gluten-free flours that were on the market were very gritty. I didn't have to go gluten-free. It was my husband that was diagnosed, and I couldn't stand it. So in order for me to go gluten-free and the whole family, we ended up finding the products to make it ourselves.
Okay. So you're creating the event. The event isn't getting a whole lot of traction. What else or how many people are showing up to your lives?
Sometimes 8.
Okay. And how are they responding?
They're talking amongst themselves during while I'm away at the oven or I'm mixing something. And then they'll make comments as to, because I show tips and tricks. So they'll make comments to that. And then the people that have ordered and I'm doing their order, they're excited, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But my situation tonight is, because I go on tonight at 4, I didn't get any orders today. So I'm going to be just baking some bread because the kids need bread. And we're low on cookies, so I figured I'd throw some cookies in. And tonight we're having quiche, so I'll make a quiche.
No, that's fantastic. So 8's not bad. Like 8's not bad. How long are these lives going on for? A while, right?
Yeah, 45 minutes to an hour. And I don't even notice it that it's that long. It's after the fact.
And how many views are you getting on the live afterwards?
Oh my word, like 300 plus. Okay.
So what I would do is continue to have the event because people can then remind themselves and whatever. So they get reminded of the live, but definitely post. How much are you posting about it in the on your Facebook page itself? Beyond the event.
I'll post it the day after I'll create the event, and then I'll post about the event the day of, that morning. I'll remind them that I have a child crying.
That's all right.
Of course. It's never when it's quiet. So the day of I will do it, and then an hour before.
Okay. So You can deal with him if you want. So I'll
Chicken eggs, you got in trouble. Okay, I'm on the phone a minute, okay? Can you guys go get a snack? Go get a granola bar real quick? That will work.
So I would say maybe hype up the reminders, maybe tease them a little bit more of what you're going to be making. Maybe you could do either little, I know giveaways is probably a little bit tough for you, but if you could say I'm going to be giving something away, or I'm going to be giving away a trick that I haven't shared with anybody before, if there's something you think, oh, I never really talked about that before. Just tease it a little bit more that, oh, you're going to get something really good and special here. Otherwise, I wouldn't worry about it too much. 8 is good for an hour long, watching somebody bake. How many Facebook fans do you have right now?
507.
Okay. 8's good, and you're getting all of these views afterwards. So I think you're on the right track. I think you could just maybe talk a little bit more. And again, I'm not seeing your posts, but maybe talk a little bit more of, this is what I'm going to be showing you. I'm really excited to be making this quiche. Like, you post something as soon as you're off here and say, oh, we're making a quiche tonight. It's going to be fantastic. And I'm really, really, it's my family's favorite.
Sorry.
That's okay.
So like, what would you call the event? Like, I've been calling it like live baking.
Free baking with Sheila.
Okay.
Yeah, don't call it just baking, because your audience needs a specific type of baking that they want to be involved with, right? This is
right.
So you don't want somebody who's like, oh, I'm going to learn a new chocolate cake recipe. And then they're like, why are you using this funny flour? So you really want to attract the right people to you, the gluten-free people. And so it's just gluten-free baking with Sheila.
Okay.
It's very clear of what it is you're doing, and that it's with you. And so you could maybe call it gluten-free baking lessons with Sheila. That could add a little extra pizzazz to it.
Okay.
But make sure gluten-free is there, because that's your big hook. That's your niche. That's your hook. That's everything for you. Okay.
Because I was doing like in the little tagline, I did step-by-step gluten-free baking tips and tricks. I
kind of like lessons, because I feel like I'm coming in and I'm getting a lesson on something.
Okay.
But try it, test it out.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And should I do it every week, or should I back off and do it like bi-weekly?
If you're going to be baking anyhow, and you're getting all those views afterwards, there's nothing wrong with making content. I think every week, and then you, in the future, what you can do is go back and maybe clip out little things that you said, or clip out certain examples. You know what I'm saying? So you have all this documentation of things you've talked about and showing people, and you can go back and repurpose that in the future.
Okay.
So you could maybe clip out just that cookie recipe, and then have that as a short video that you put on your website where they buy your flour. Hey, here's a little cookie recipe, and there's a trick in doing just the right kind of cookie. Here's how I do it. Or a demonstration of the cookies you've already baked. So you could say, I'm selling if you sell the cookies on the website, then you could have a little video showing you baking the cookies. And so they see that Sheila makes these cookies. So you can go back and repurpose these.
So you can cut a live video after it's aired?
You would have to download it, which you have the right to do as the video creator. So if you go in Facebook, when you look at the video, there will be a button that says options, and you can download it. And at that point, you need to use some kind of program, but don't ask me which one, because there's so many of them out there, and it's whatever's easiest for you. If Windows used to have like Movie Maker, but they have another thing on there now that makes it easy to clip. A lot of phones have apps that make it easy to clip. And you can just cut out the parts you don't want to and smush the other parts together, and you've got a brand new video based on it. And it's effortless for you, because you're just turning on the camera while you're doing what you do. So I would say keep doing it. Keep doing it weekly.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
It'll grow, and you'll get more influence. People are going to share it. Somebody's going to share it to the right group. It's also a great thing to share to groups, gluten-free groups. Here's some tips and tricks, and here's a lesson on gluten-free baking for cookies and quiche.
Okay.
and you're adding content and you're giving value. That's a great thing to share.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. Thank you, Sheila. I gotta come over here and do this. All right. That was a good one. Let's see. Yeah, Aleta said replays are good. Let's see. Dawn says the replays are where she gets her views, which I agree with. So Victoria said that StreamYard will create a countdown on your page and followers get reminders. I did not know that, Victoria, so I would like to see more about that because I use Zoom for my streaming and I know they don't do that. Yeah, and post in other groups. I think that's a good thing to post in other groups. She does it as an event. That's a good point though, Meg. I don't know if Sheila is going live in the event or going live on her page. So you should have the live or the event to remind people of the live, but you should still be going live on the page itself. So I did not ask Sheila that question, whether or not she was going live in the event. My eye started itching. All right. All right, so Peggy, that's a good question. Are you still on? Do you want to go? You can just say yes in the comments and we can bring you up. I know that you're a new Posse member. All right. I'm also going to include the link to Posse again. If you guys are watching this, I think we'll just do this one more question. But if you're watching this, if you're watching the replay and you're like, what is this Posse and how are people doing this? Man, my eyes itch a lot lately. And like in the last year, I've gotten itchy eyes and it just hit me. Okay, so Peggy's here. So yeah, if you're happening to watch the replay or if you're on with us right now and you are not yet a Posse member and you want to know how to do these awesome, amazing things, Sheila has been kicking butt and taking names. I know that she joined in December and her business has just completely changed since the beginning and she's doing a fantastic job. Same with Aleta. So if you guys are like, man, I wish I had help like this all the time. Posse includes the training. You get the full training of how to use Facebook to grow your business. You get access to the Prompts for Profits calendar, which tells you exactly what to post every single day. And then you also get access to the amazing Posse community, and they're all in the comments right now, and they're absolutely fantastic, and they're so extremely helpful. And you can see all the comments happening even in the comments section here of Posse members throwing out ideas and trying to help other members because they know each other now, right? And there's a lot of support there. All right. So I'm going to go to Peggy as the last one, and then Trina, I'll answer your question just verbally on here, but we're just about out of time. All right, so Peggy. There we go. Oh, I unmuted you while you unmuted you. All right, you unmute you. Okay, there you go. How you doing, Peggy?
I'm good. I'm new, so I know nothing really. So my question is probably very rudimentary. Are all of your selling posts on a Facebook business page?
Okay, so first of all, tell us what your business is. Tell us a little bit more about your business.
I sell seashell art.
Seashell art. So the selling post, this is how far are you into the training so far?
I just came on board a day or two ago.
Okay. So the engagement training is really going to help you with this. And here's a long story short. When you sell on Facebook, the best way to sell on Facebook is what I call sideways selling. Yes, you can post to Marketplace. Marketplace is fine. It's not the greatest. And sometimes it brings pain in the butt clients. Sometimes it brings great customers. Sometimes pain in the butt customers. Sometimes it's just deal seekers. So marketplace is not the main focus of what we teach in Posse. Mostly what we want to teach in Posse is how to use your Facebook business page. Okay. So we want to use your page and how to attract the right people to your page. So the people that are interested in the type of product that you produce, get them highly engaged and desiring your product. When we do those things, the sales happen automatically. Aleta doesn't sell a lot on her page. Okay. She just does a lot of like, what do you think of this? What about that? She plays a lot of the engagement games and she follows the prompts in the calendar. And what happens is we are not, most of us are not using Facebook because we're like, oh, I can't wait to buy something. I can't wait till somebody puts something in front of me and so I can go and buy something. We're on Facebook because we want to be social, right? It's social media. We want to talk to people. We want to keep track of people we went to high school with and what's your cousin doing and what's going on in the news. And there's a funny kitten, right? So we need to match those kinds of conversations if we want to get attention on Facebook. And you have to do it in a strategic way. And again, that training is really going to help you kind of make that connection. So you don't want to just post a funny cat video when you're selling seashell art, right?
Yeah.
That'll get you engagement, but it's the wrong kind of engagement. So if you follow along, if you watch the engagement training and you follow along the calendar, every once in a while there's a salesy type post in the calendar, but it's mostly just building relationships, getting people to know who you are, what it is you sell, and having fun and playing games with them. And there are certain posts like the pick your favorite post where you show them 4 pictures and say, which one of these 4 is your favorite? And instead of selling outright, what we're doing is saying, I just want your opinion. What do you think? Which one do you think is the best? And posts like that usually make more sales than a here's my product, here's the price, let me know if you want it. Okay.
So on your business page, though.
On your business page.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And then when you're posting to other groups, is that your business page posting to other groups?
So there are 2 strategies for posting to other groups, and there's training on both of them in Posse. There's a good reason to do it as yourself, and there's a good reason to do it as your page.
Okay.
I tend to favor posting as yourself because kind of like what I talked about earlier is that you're on somebody else's territory. And when you come in as your page and say, hey, here I am, look at this thing that I made, it comes across as very commercial, especially if that page was not meant to be a commercial page. So there are buy, sell, trade groups where you join as your page. They don't care that you're selling. That's what everybody's there for. But there's also groups of people that just love seashells. And if you come in and say, hey, here I am, and here's all these things that I created, it can really turn the other members off. So a lot of our members have had success with joining as themselves and then posting those high engagement posts versus, rather than saying, here's my product for sale, it's like, which one is your favorite? And they'll get sales through posts like that. It takes trial and error. Every community is different. Every group is different. Every group admin is different. The culture of every group is different. And all of you guys with your businesses are different types of business, different type of niche. So there's really no hard and fast, this is exactly how you should be doing things in Facebook groups. But there are 2 trainings there, one under the Facebook likes training and the other in the what's working now training. I recommend that you watch the what's working now one before the one in the likes. I'm actually trying to figure out where to reposition it because it should be viewed first, but it's further down in the units. But don't do any of that until you've gone through the engagement training.
Okay.
So there are steps. There are steps in Posse, and they're there on purpose, because if you build up a ton of likes on your page and then you realize that you attracted the wrong people, then you have to go back and start from scratch. So the training is designed in order to keep you on track, so you don't have to go back and just redo everything, right?
Yes. So I can just use my business page and just post on regular Facebook, not necessarily in Marketplace.
Correct. You post to your business page. Yes, that's where you're building your audience in your community.
Okay.
Okay, that's where they're getting to know a little bit behind the scenes. Why do you make seashell art? what kind of seashell is that? You know, you get to answer questions that they have, and you're really building up that community. And that community will buy from you. You know, Aleta will tell you, Pam will tell you, Amy will tell you, Brian will tell you. There are people that come back and buy over and over and over. That's what we want to create, is just that whole culture and community within our own page. When we're posting to other groups, we're kind of just borrowing their audience, right? And that's fine. And that can help pull new people over to yours, but the biggest focus needs to be on your own community.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, my problem is I have community in Michigan and community in Florida. And my sales have come from posting on other pages because they are pages, they're allowed, you know, obviously. Right. And they are pages that they've set up that are already working to sell seashell art or, yes, you know, or shells or anything like that. So that's where I have been successful. Also, someone invited me to be part of a consortium of crafters. And so it's very unusual. It's under her name, but we can all post on it. And I've gotten sales from there too.
Yeah, wherever you can find. So if you have a seashell art, and very few people are that lucky to say there's a group out there where specifically you can buy exactly the type of art that I'm creating.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of you guys watching this. You should be jealous of Peggy right now, because she has groups like that to be able to post into. But ultimately, if you want to build a sustainable business, that audience needs to be yours, because anything could happen to anybody else's group. If a group owner decides to have a hissy fit one day and just shut down the group, that's her prerogative. And then all of a sudden you're out of sales. So you really want, and even if they allow sales in that group, learning what you're going to learn in the engagement, I'm kind of changing subjects. Learning what you're learning in the engagement with the calendar, if you make those kinds of posts even to the buy sell trade groups, they're going to love it. They're going to love it. Okay. Yeah. So I would recommend do the engagement. So write this down: engagement training.
Okay.
Then go and watch the visibility in groups training that's in the what's working now unit module in the training. Because I think taking that engagement and learning how, a couple of tricks that you need to know in order to be even more successful in these buy sell trade groups are in that module. You combine those two, I think you're going to blow the doors off of it, and they're gonna love it. They're gonna love it. You're gonna get a lot more engagement.
I'm so sorry, Allie. I didn't have anybody to write it down. What was the first one?
First thing to watch is the engagement training.
Okay.
The focus training can be helpful for you, but I think you've already got a pretty clear hook. You have seashell art, and you have ponds. And so the focus training is helpful, but not needed, I think, for you. But if you watch the engagement training first, then go to the unit about visibility in groups, you'll see it's under what's working now. Okay. And you want to watch the visibility in groups training. And that's going to give you more success now in the groups that you're already in. Then go back and do the page makeover, the likes, all of those are in order. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I'm so glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
All right. We'll talk to you later. All right. There we go. All right. So I wanted to real quick, Trina asked a question. Once I start a Facebook, should I stop doing custom orders through Facebook? Not necessarily. If it's working, don't shut it off. But I would say that, and we'll talk about this in NLA. Once you have your website up, trying to get people to do to put their custom order in through the website. Sometimes it takes a while. I think it was Aleta the other day that said, I'm finally getting people to go to the website instead of messaging me for orders. So sometimes it takes them a little bit of, there's a little bit of friction there. We're used to messaging you. Why can't we just keep messaging you? But the idea of the website is to make your life easier and to have a better paper trail. And so you can organize your orders, and so that it's easier for your customer to not just buy the one thing, but to buy additional things. So you're going to want to ease them over to the website and encourage them to do their custom orders over on the website. So that's the quick answer I would give on that. All right, so we're going to end it there. The plan was for an hour. We stayed at about an hour. This is, again, our first time around doing this. Did you guys find this helpful? Was this helpful? Was this interesting? It took us a little bit to get going. Some people get shy about asking questions. Peggy said, yes, it was helpful. Aleta said, yesterday's prompt resulted in selling 3 out of 6 products. The picture is key. Ooh, Brian, you're on TikTok. I can't wait. So Brian said, after joining Posse, I've now made my own website, started selling on Amazon, started posting on Instagram and TikTok. Great job. Pam says, Posse is amazing. Awesome. Thank you, Pam. Let's see. All right. I think I got that. Got a couple. So Luann, this will be up on my Facebook page. It's in the How to Sell Your Products Online free course group. And I will also be uploading this to YouTube. So you will be able to watch the replay. All right. And then Carol's asking, can someone share all of the useful apps that you are using? I think that's a fantastic idea. Amy just made a post about that. That's a great idea. In fact, I just shared like my top 4 or 5 apps with a business colleague of mine. And interestingly enough, some of you may know him. But if you don't know him now, you're going to know him soon. I'm really excited about it. But I just shared like 5 or 6 of them. And I'm like, I should really make that into a document. Like, this is what I'm using. It's not all applicable to your guys' businesses. Some of it is like how to manage your team, and not a lot of you have team. But yeah, we're definitely going to do something like that. Carol says Posse is awesome. Thank you. So I'm going to drop the link for the Posse trial. You get 30 days of Posse for only $7. So for $7, you get access to all of the training that I was just talking to Peggy about. You get access to the Prompts for Profits calendar, where Aleta just said she sold 3 out of 6 items using the prompt from yesterday. You also get access to the amazing community. If you guys like what you're seeing in the comments here from Posse members, you're going to love what you get from Posse itself, because you have the ability to ask questions and get feedback. And the community is such an amazing feature of Posse. I can't say enough about it. So the link is in the comments. Thanks everybody for showing up. We're going to do this again next week at noon Eastern. So Posse members, if you have questions, be ready, jump on, so that we can help you, and we can help you move your business forward. All right, guys, talk to you later. Bye.